as an organisation. We were central Oxford based, really high dependence on people coming in and out of the office, and significant amount of time actually travelling between meetings, between events and activity. And over lockdown what we found was an opportunity just to change the way we worked, to take advantage of remote working, and Harwell became part of that thought process in terms of having a solid business location, back office function that could support our activity. And that enabled us to have somewhere for the staff to have a base, but also to work remotely at the same time. There are those businesses that have to have a continued physical presence on site, and there are many of those on Harwell Campus actually that have got manufacturing or research and development. But for those businesses who are predominantly office-based, I think they've found a real benefit in hybrid working now, and I think it is hybrid. It's not one or the other. But the value of having a hub, a base that you can base your activity from, but then using the flexibility that home working, that flexible working practices allows, I think most businesses are starting to explore some version of that. Not everybody's going back full time. And for us, certainly being a digital business has transformed the way we can support our staff. It's made them more productive. It's given them more flexibility around things like childcare. And we're seeing a real positive from all the staff actually working in that hybrid way. Going into lockdown one, it was clear that government were needing to find a way of supporting business, supporting individuals, so we had to pivot very quickly. Look to work very closely with our local authority partners who were responsible for delivering grants out to businesses through the business rate scheme. And what we did was look at how can you complement that. So, the importance of having an online triage tool, that ability for businesses who were, time poor and pressured because of the environment, to be able to quickly use a self-diagnostic toolkit to just identify where some of those business challenges were. And then we can respond to that. And it gave a tailored service. It allowed us to respond much more quickly. And as a business ourselves, moving into that hybrid working environment, it allowed us to have a greater degree of understanding of where some of those pressures were. How do you support people in the workplace? How do you support them with markets? And looking at internationalisation, new chances, new opportunities. Because again, COVID and Brexit landed at the same time. And we had a major programme of support for EU exit as well at the same time running. So really flexible, created an opportunity, but that dynamic of a business toolkit was key. What we found early in that process was the importance of having the one-to-one conversations, even if they were on a remote platform. So following that up, creating that support, creating a blend actually of support between the skills support needs, so looking at current and future workforce. We also introduced grant schemes, which we were able to mobilise quite quickly, and those were to help businesses to realise that potential of moving either their business processes, new services, new ways of working, or indeed investing in new equipment to enable them to move onto a mobile platform. So a combination of triage, one-to-one support, mentoring and grant programmes, we really accelerated those and we've very successfully delivered significant investment into businesses over the last 15 months. And we see that being a pattern that we would want to follow going forward, enabling and creating the support mechanism to allow business to grow. I guess it's the same as we've been talking about for the last 12 months or so, which is that there's a real opportunity now to look at new markets. We know there's a major emphasis from government on new trade deals, and what does that mean for those businesses who are exporting. There are opportunities for businesses to collaborate more now, and that collaboration over lockdown has been really important. We've seen, the automotive industry translate their skill set into manufacturing ventilators, CPAP, other devices. That's using that technology and that capability in a different way, and it's opened up new collaborations. So I think for us, government's plan for growth is about looking at new technology, investment in R&D, innovation. Oxfordshire's rich in that innovation ecosystem, that environment within which we use the skills and the capability to do things differently. And we can also level up in real time. Government obviously have this strong emphasis on levelling up the economy. What we create is the capability and the capacity for goods and services to be manufactured or distributed across the country and then globally, whether that's into Europe under new terms or across global markets. So I think for me the glass has always been half full. What we see now is businesses really stepping up and identifying new opportunities. What they need is consistency of the regulatory environment and the frameworks for support. And that's where we'll continue to help, guide, advise, refer into new programmes. It's really exciting, but more than that, it's tangible. We've recently published with partners a pathway to Oxfordshire's zero carbon ambitions. So looking out 2030, 2040, 2050, what are those staging posts? Real opportunities to pilot, to test and to take the technology and capability that we have and actually demonstrate how you can apply that in a sector environment. And even if you look at the relationship between motorsport, aerospace, aviation, there's real synergies there. How is the future of carbonless flight going to look? How can we use technology? Rolling out the energy systems, the work we're doing around energy resilience as a county, as a place. And that's not just county-based, but that's nationally significant and internationally important. And we've got world-leading and world-class capability, and that's always been there. But what we're looking at now is how do you use that to bring to life the next set of systems, the next improvements to energy efficiency, looking even through the Oxfordshire Plan 2050 at what our future placemaking agenda looks like. How do we create the places and the spaces that people live, work and enjoy their leisure life? And it's an opportunity, and I think for us that's one of those areas we need to press ahead. I think as a business ourselves, we've had to look at everything from our operations. Our move to a digital business was partly driven by operational efficiency and working with staff to create the right kind of conditions. But actually, that has had a really positive impact on the amount of travel we do, for instance, the efficiency of using a digital platform to do business. From a personal perspective, 20th of March 2020 was the last time I went into London for a meeting. I've had lots of meetings since, but on a digital platform, and they will start to come back, and but it won't be the same. And I don't think we've got that same dependence on travelling, long distances for short meetings. So that is a kind of operational side. I think more generally, using the technology, using the capability to improve efficiency in the workplace, to improve processes, to use that technology capability to drive transformational change within a business community. And I think we've got the kind of core capabilities to support that in Oxfordshire. That creates business opportunities that will attract investment. And we've seen from work that they're doing around energy systems, the importance of new technology in electric vehicles, hydrogen, the opportunities to look at that, the opportunities to look at more efficient heating and cooling systems as we respond to climate change. And that will play out into good design. And again, thinking about Plan 2050, thinking about economic recovery, there's opportunities there to really transform, pilot and lead the way that we develop our new housing and industrial stock. And again, that's something we have to do as a system, not as an individual organisation. So partnering, working together, looking to the future, they're going to be critical aspects. In Oxfordshire has that basis to work from. I think we're in a strong position. I think what it's done is it's shone a light differently on the way that we have planned and developed work programmes quite often. And if you think about opportunities that we were in many ways forced to consider much more quickly than we might otherwise have done, so that transition to home working, there's always been flexible working. As a company we had flexible working, but we didn't embrace it in the same way. And I think what it allowed us to do was just take stock and look at it in the sense of this is really significant change now. So we either recoil. We either move away from it or we celebrate it, embrace it, and find a way of dealing with it. And we've been, not just us as a business, but businesses in Oxfordshire, I think, have responded to that in a positive way, not a negative one. So they have looked at new ways of working. They have looked at, can we recruit in a different way? Can we hold our day-to-day business operation in a different context? So can we use that platform? That's reduced travel. It's certainly reduced travel congestion. It's certainly provided efficiencies in people's pockets. Many of our staff that travelled into Oxford used to have to pay a lot for parking. You've got the travel costs anyway. If you think about that, they're all things that you wouldn't have put on a tick list to think about, but they are tangible benefits, tangible differences that have come out of an horrendous set of circumstances. And we've remembered where our communities are, and we've remembered that people in those communities are important to us, and we found a different way of communicating. Certainly my personal experience of working and kind of living and working from home, you see your neighbours in a very different light. You see the business relationships that you've got in a different way, and you start to treasure them in a different way. So I think it has been different, but I think the challenge has created an opportunity. So for me, it is an opportunity arising from the despair of what COVID was and the devastation that it caused. But I think it's created more resilient businesses moving forward. And some sadly failed, and others kind of rose out of that failure and positioned in different ways. So we've got to remember we've still got to pick some people up and help them. But we also need to celebrate the success, and I think we sometimes forget to do that. We should do more. For many businesses, they will have transformed their business in the last 15 months beyond recognition. Their processes, the way they work, their client base. And we often don't give ourselves that little bit of time to celebrate what we've done. Our businesses have been phenomenal. If you look at their ability to respond to COVID, whether that's vaccine at one end of that scale, but actually manufacturing capability, the businesses that have pivoted, found new markets, continue to deliver over that period of time. So I think for me, the whole kind of net zero, changing global awareness around climate change creates real opportunity for Oxfordshire. Our technology, our capability is second to none, quite frankly. We talk about an ecosystem, but the relationship between those businesses is much stronger now, I think, in many ways. And we've started to recognise where our value and our strengths are. We can be confident going forward that we've got a solid base to work from. And I think, the future for us is about looking at how we can help and inform other parts of the country and then globally. How do we use our technology to move forward? How do we reinforce our globally significant position in the marketplace? And we use the brands that we have, whether they're technology or whether they're place, to actually elevate business opportunity and really sell Oxfordshire as a place that is leading economic recovery and is looking at transforming technology into the future. So a positive future for me.